What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Malcolm the GOAT. Welcome back to the 4th episode of Ball with MTG. In this episode, we're going to break down the top 5 teams that could potentially win an NBA championship this year when the season resumes. So stay tuned because Ball with MTG starts now.
Get a rolling catch by surprise. I put myself on the line, betting on myself 1,000 times. Promise I'm trying to get right. Get a rolling catch by surprise.
What's up, everybody? I'm back, bigger, better than ever. You know what I'm saying? But no, we're gonna break down the top 5 teams. This is in order, and this list is going to be based on if everyone comes back. So don't judge the list if certain players don't come back. Obviously, I'm gonna have to redo this list once the teams come back out. And so that's probably a whole nother podcast. But yeah, we were seeing some pretty good basketball. And like I said in my last podcast, I don't agree with the NBA coming back. But if they're going to come back, it's nothing really we can do. I mean, it's players that have been talking about sitting out. One in particular, we all know Kyrie Irving has been all over the headlines as of recently, saying that he will not play. Well, he's planning to sit out, and is encouraging other players to sit out as well because there are bigger problems with basketball. And I totally agree. So, I mean, I see where he's coming from. I mean, he just wants to stand up for what he believes in. But I'm going to do the top 5 teams that could win a championship, starting at number 5. I know this one is going to be a little controversial, but number 5, I'm going to have to say the Boston Celtics. I say the Boston Celtics because this team is at full strength, and the way they were playing towards the end of the season, I mean, before all of Corona shut down and stuff, they were playing some pretty good basketball, even though they lost like 4 of their last 5 games. They were coming together. Jason Tatum really has stepped up his game. He's really fitting more into that leader role that the Celtics needed him to be. And now, I mean, and we can't deny, I mean, Kemba Walker kind of helped bring them into a championship team as well. Kyrie Irving was with the Celtics. He kind of messed up their feng shui. And how he was kind of distraction with the media, and then he wasn't talking to the media, and then everybody thought it was so many problems. I don't know. It just was not good. The couple of years that Kyrie was there, but now they got a good, just as skilled, but I mean, at the end of the day, Kyrie is better than Kemba Walker. But Kemba Walker is definitely a great fit for this team. Jaylen Brown emerged into an all-star as well. And then we still got Gordon Hayward, who is still pretty good, averaging about 17.6 rebounds. I mean, still contributing to the team. Still not back to his all-star level type play just because of the emergence of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I mean, you got to give those guys more reps. I mean, they're younger, still got a lot more to grow. And I don't know, they deserve the ball a little bit more right now. I mean, and they're proving to get some dubs in the win column, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason I don't have them higher on this list is because they're so young. They're led by young players. I mean, still got a good mixture of veteran guys like Enes Kanter and Gordon Hayward, Kemba Walker. But, you know, 2 of the 3 main guys under 25, take that into consideration. Although they had their good championship run against, their potential championship run against in the Eastern Conference a couple years back when they almost beat that LeBron squad. Wish they should have, because that LeBron team had no business being that 2018 Cavs team. Let me tell you, that team should have never even been in the finals. Oh gosh, but then again, that shows you how great LeBron is. But that's neither here or there, because you guys know I can go about LeBron all day. But no, the Boston Celtics, I'll just give them a couple more years. They definitely have a championship roster, but it's just a couple of teams that just stick out more, in which we will go to number 4. And this is another controversial pick. I have the Houston Rockets. Yeah, the Houston Rockets. I know that may surprise a lot of people. Ever since this team traded away Nene, I mean, we didn't know how they were going to be able to play. I mean, because the tallest person on their team now is PJ Tucker. He's their starting center now, and he's 6'7", 6'8". Yeah, so a lot of people were like, "Oh wow, they're really going all in with the small ball," but it's actually working for them. And the play of Russell Westbrook, we all may think that his stats have dipped, but he's been a better basketball player in Houston. He's making smarter decisions, smarter passes. His overall, at first his field goal percentage was down, but over the past 10 or so games, his field goal percentages went up. I mean, he's just been playing a little bit better. And then we all know James Harden, what he can do with the ball offensively, maybe the greatest offensively skilled player of all time. We're talking about a guy that can go and get you 40, 50 any night. It can score from anywhere on the floor. I didn't mean to say Nene, I meant to say Clint Capella. This team, I mean, they're led by Mike D'Antoni, and we all know what kind of offense he runs. I mean, that's 7 seconds or less. They literally outscore you. That's how they beat you. They literally outscore you. They literally run up the scoreboard, try to score as much as they can, and at the end of the game, they're usually in the dub column. I mean, it's not the most efficient way of playing basketball, and that's why a lot of people have questioned Mike D'Antoni and his coaching abilities, because this type of play has never led to a championship. But if it were any team in any roster that he's had, and any top 2 players, Russell Westbrook and James Harden are probably the best 2 players to play in the system, and it's proven to work for them. They're climbing up. Right before COVID had canceled the NBA season, they were climbing up the leaderboards. Right now, I think they sit at 5th, but they were on their way up. They were really on their way up. I'm sorry, they sit at the 6th seed. They were on their way up, and they were climbing fast. Yeah, they're tied for 5th with OKC. So yeah, OKC, that's pretty funny, who's having a great season right now, especially with the resurgence of Chris Paul, who is arguably one of the greatest leaders to ever touch a basketball. But that's neither here or there either. But no, this team literally can compete with anybody. They have the talent to. They have the scoring ability to. They definitely have the scoring ability to. But no, I mean, I would give this team I would give this team a chance against anybody. I mean, even the Lakers. I would give them a chance even against the Lakers. I mean, catch the Lakers on a bad week, and you're talking about a few bad games from LeBron. You can't have a few. I mean, you can't have a couple of bad games, because Houston is literally going to run up the scoreboard every single time, every single night. And they literally have a shot with anybody. And so yeah, that's my number 4. Number 3 would have to be the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks have the best record in the league, 53-12. They have the best home record at 28-3. They have the best player, the best regular season player in Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's having a great season, averaging almost 30 points and 13.7 rebounds, almost 14 rebounds, and almost 6 assists a game to go along with the steal and a block a game. And with a 31.71 PER rating, player efficiency rating. This guy is having, no other player has put up these numbers since, like, the 2000 version of Shaq. Like, that was the last time somebody has ever put up these types of numbers, and it's translated into winning basketball. I would definitely have my money on Giannis and Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe, who is a dog. Eric Bledsoe is a dog. Brook Lopez, who's changed into a three-point shooter, who is lethal. He is lethal from the behind the three-point line. And then I'm going back to Chris Middleton, who everybody thought was a fluke. He's actually an all-star. He proved it. He proved to be his second year at all-star, got better, and is proven to be a worthy, maybe not number 2 option, but maybe a number 3 option on a championship team. Maybe that's what Milwaukee is missing. Unless Chris Middleton has done some training in the gym or something, or is getting his shots up. I just don't know if Milwaukee can take it to the top this season. I mean, they have great pieces around them, like George Hill's another piece, Wesley Matthews, Robin Lopez. They have good pieces around them. It's just one player can have an effect on a whole entire game and can affect the outcome, and they're missing literally Chris Middleton is not a number 2 option. He's just not. And what we saw from them and how they blew it against Toronto last year, literally they were up 2-0 and literally blew the series. They basically got swept after that. They didn't win a game after they went up 2-0. And literally Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors stole their hearts away. And hopefully hopefully Giannis have learned from that, and there's no Kawhi in the East now. So, and they are the clear-cut favorites. There's there's other teams that maybe be able to compete, like I said, like the Celtics and the Sixers, if they're ready. The Toronto Raptors could compete. They're just as skilled as they can beat anybody as well. But Bucks team is probably the best chance of an Eastern Conference team winning the NBA championship this year. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's had an efficient year. He's had a marvelous year. He's runner-up for MVP in my opinion. But it's just not, I don't know. My 2 other teams just heavily weigh them out. It's just too much. Which I'm gonna go to number 2 right here, and we all know that the top 2 teams that could potentially win the championship are either gonna come. It's coming out of LA. It's either gonna be the Clippers or the Lakers winning the championship this year. But my number 2 team, we all know who my number 2 team is, and it is the Clippers. The Clippers, all in all, have the best roster in basketball. We can go down the list. Patrick Beverley, Paul George, JaMychal Green, Montrezl Harrell, Reggie Jackson, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris Sr., Lou Will, who's a walking bucket. Who is a walking bucket. Lou Will can score from anywhere. Oh, gosh. I hate that. I just wish Lou Will was on the Lakers. That would just make it a lot better. But I love Lou Will. Lou Will's game is so smooth. Lou Will, I wish Paul George was on the Lakers as well, because I love Paul George's game. Oh, he's so smooth with it. But I hate this. I would hate to see the Lakers take down the Clippers because I like so many players on the Clippers. But I mean, this team is just a team full of dogs, a team full of people that were counted out. So it's just like, this team is scary. This team is going to work hard. This team, defensively, this team is probably one of the greatest teams on paper. Offensively, Doc Rivers said they weren't getting it. They were still figuring it out, but figuring it out was scoring 150 points in a few games that they've played in. Like when they had the full team together, they're scoring 150 points. That's figuring out. Then that's going to be. I'm scared to see what their offense is going to be like once they finally figure it out. And now that everybody has gotten healthy, everybody has had time to heal, everybody has had time away from basketball, and I think that's what some of these players needed. And especially like Paul George, who's been dealing with injuries all year long, especially with his shoulder. And now Kawhi Leonard, who's been battling that knee for the past couple of years now, should be fully healthy. And with a healthy Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, I mean, who's stopping that besides a healthy LeBron James and AD? I mean, legit, who's stopping that? I mean, Kawhi is a silent assassin. He could take over the game and it'd be like the most normal takeover in the world. Like, he just gets the job done. He doesn't do all of the fancy things. He doesn't do like all the fancy dribbling. No, he literally brings the ball up the court. Well, okay, I mean, I'm not even going to break it down, but he literally just plays basketball. Follows all the rules, and he's a championship because of it. He's a champion because of it. And we can't take that away from him. This team definitely has a lot of playoff experience, a lot of grit on this team, and that's what I love to see. Like, and then they have one of the greatest coaches of our era in Doc Rivers, who has a brilliant mind and who has really like kind of literally meshed these guys kind of together. I mean, these guys are playing some terrific basketball. And we seen the upgraded play of Kawhi Leonard, who's really turned into a playmaker over this season. Never really saw him as a facilitator. And that's what he's done this season while still averaging almost 27 a game. And Paul George, who kind of had an MVP season last year, when healthy, he is a top 10 player in the league. We all know that. But he's had a sluggish year and still balling. I mean, 21 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, he's still hooping. And then we still have 2 GOATs who come off the bench in Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, who should share the 6th Man Award, really. Can't really, besides them two, who other deserves the award? I mean, I can't really think of anybody right now. If you guys know, please hit me up. But yeah, Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell you can't beat that. And then they got a steal and picking up Reggie Jackson, who's a starting point guard in this league. And that's what a lot of these Clippers players, they came to this team wanting to win a championship. A lot of these players, especially like Lou Williams and Patrick Patterson and Marcus Morris Sr., they could have went somewhere. They could have went somewhere, especially Lou. Could have went somewhere where he know that he'll get a whole bunch of PT. And Marcus Morris Sr. just came from the Knicks, where he was getting a ton of PT. But no, these guys realize that they want to win a championship, and they got to take a step back. And while Kawhi Leonard, Paul George run the show and take them to the promised land, because we all know this Clippers team has always been good. especially from the Lob City era, and then when that kind of diminished. They've always still stayed in the mix. I mean, especially like with their consistent play and a great coach in Doc Rivers, who never let them down. And I don't know. I think the Clippers, when healthy, are the most dangerous team in the league. But I don't know. I mean, chemistry-wise and the style of play and how everything was going, I don't know. It was just in the look. I haven't seen this look in LeBron's eyes since 2016. And that's why I have the Lakers at number 1 to win it all. I'm claiming it. You can you can quote me on it now. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers will be holding up after everything is said and done. The Lakers will be holding up championship trophy. LeBron will be holding up his 4th NBA trophy, 4th Finals MVP. I will say that both teams from that AD trade won tremendously. Both teams really showed potential this year. I mean, they both showed how they were going to use their players, and AD has really stepped into that I'm a star. Like, we all knew AD could hoop down in New Orleans, but we haven't seen him in the bright lights. Like, when everything's said and done, can AD really can he help win championships or lead a team? Because, I mean, we're talking about a top 5 player in the league. AD can definitely lead a team to a championship. And this season, he's really proven that, especially alongside LeBron James. Those two have played so well together. And I don't know, they really complement each other's style of play. This is LeBron's best teammate, even better than Dwayne Wade. Yes, he's better than Dwayne Wade. Most skilled teammate, I should say. But yeah, I mean, it's just this team, especially like we seen Kuzma step up over the course of the last few games before the shutdown. A lot of key pieces were coming together. Could LeBron James really fit into that point guard role over the past few games, especially like that weekend I was talking about in my other podcast, the weekend of the Bucks and Clippers? He really stepped into that point guard role, learned his role, knew how to play it correctly. And, I mean, he already knew how to play it, I mean, because he's been a point guard his whole career. But once he, like, really accepted that role and really, like, embraced it and tried to make truly, fully, and, like, that's his main goal of making teammates around him better and see, like, how he can facilitate the offense, then, I mean, it was just a beautiful thing to see, especially, like, you see him kind of take a back seat to AD, kind of let AD get a little bit more reps, get AD a little bit more into the offense. And now, I mean, he's leading the league in assists with 10.6, which is also a career high. In his 17th season, still putting up 25 points a game and grabbing 8 rebounds. I mean, you can't tell me this guy is not the GOAT. I literally can't hear anything else. I mean, especially like coming back from last season, which was kind of a disappointment, especially since he got injured and everybody was saying, oh, LeBron, he's washed up finally. Oh, he's going downhill. But no, he kind of proven, like, and that's why I say he deserves MVP, because he literally, like, shut up all the haters this season, and they literally they're sitting at 49-14. Nobody was stopping them in their last few games before COVID shut down the NBA. Nobody was stopping them. And I feel like, I mean, I know that we've had a few months off from basketball, but I definitely don't see him. It's gonna take some time to adjust back to it. But I don't see anybody like being a major threat until about maybe the Western Conference Finals for the Lakers, who, I mean, that could be either the Clippers, Rockets, Nuggets potentially. I mean, it's just a handful of teams that it could be, but I mean, that's not really a concern. I mean, they should be able to establish their chemistry back, and they're still as motivated as ever to win the championship. So I think that will play a part as well. But let me know what y'all think. Y'all can hit me up on social media. Make sure to continue to stream my new song, Surprise. I got more content coming out for you guys really soon, both and with the podcast, music, MTG visuals. Gotta get my life together, but a lot more stuff should be coming out soon. I love the support. Thank y'all for everything. And see you guys when I drop episode 5 on Monday. Peace.
I put myself on the line, betting on myself 1,000 times. Promise I'm trying to get right. Yeah, to really catch you by surprise. Tell me how you really like it. Why them tears going down your eyes? I'm trying to make you my wife. Yeah, to really catch you by surprise. Tell me, is you really about that life? When you look me in my eyes. Yeah, to really